Welcome to the Dixie Sun News at noon. I'm Stephanie Dupar. A legal battle between the Foundation for Individual Rights and Education and DSU may soon ensue. Former professor Ken Peterson is still fighting to return to his tenured position at DSU. He contacted FIRE in hopes of finally bringing the accusations and tensions to an end. FIRE's letter said, "We ask DSU to adhere to its binding legal obligations under the First Amendment by rescinding Peterson's termination and by restoring him to his tenured professorship." However, General Counsel Duajo Hicks promptly responded, saying it would create significant due process issues. The government shutdown is affecting people all over the nation, and DSU is no exception. Students who rely on financial aid may experience delays for school funds. Around 800,000 paychecks are being held by the government. Students who rely on this money may no longer be able to afford their tuition. DSU has bought land next to I-15 and adjacent to the Abbey Apartments in order to provide more married housing. The Abbey Apartments will also be converted into married housing. There are no dates for the actual plan to go into effect, just a timeline within the next 3 to 4 years. DSU has only 2 married housing locations, which can make finding on-campus housing for married students difficult. Dixie State's performing arts group, Raging Red, has a powerful message for students. You will be found. This mantra is also the basis of Raging Red's newest music video. I got to take a look behind the scenes. Of all the songs Raging Red performs, You Will Be Found, from the musical Dear Evan Hansen, seems to be the most powerful, quieting the room and filling it with emotion. When the university's marketing and communication department heard it, they knew they had to share it with the rest of the world.
Anyone that's seen their performance live can attest to how powerful it is and how inspirational it is. What they do is they travel the world really trying to share this message, and all their show in general, but they try to share this message with the world. And we just wanted to find a way that we can help them with their goal to reach out to people and let them know that they'll be found.
It's the actual personal stories of a lot of our students. We have people with trials about addiction, trials of regret, suicide, losing your best friend. All of these stories are straight from the students, and they're honest and they're true and they're, genuine. Like, these are things that actually happen to these people. It's not just a kid getting pushed against a locker. Like, these are real.
When I was a sophomore in high school, my best friend committed suicide. And I think that this video is going to help the people like him that just struggled.
We want people to talk about it. We want people to be able to talk about their problems, and by showing people our stories, I think it promotes a safe place for people to talk about mental health and give them a chance to get better.
We pick up these signs that say what we've been through. We have a little day where we go and we pick what sign speaks to us the most in our life. If somebody sees that sign, they're gonna be like, oh, he's been through that as well. That's like the main premise of why we did this, so that we could connect with people around the world, but also like share common stories. We wanted to make it so when people watch it, they know they'll have a safe place at Dixie.
Raging Red and the University Marketing and Communication Department will be releasing the video in March, alongside a mental health panel to answer any questions the public might have. Dixie Sun News reported in August that Chick-fil-A and Pizza Hut would be coming soon to campus. However, it seems that may not be happening as soon as we thought.
Coming to campus will have to wait just a little bit longer. Due to various delays in the administrative process, these franchises will arrive on campus by May instead of January as planned.
So it was pushed back because it took a little bit longer to get the contract signed. The legal department here on campus wanted to make sure that anything that did come up to be handled in this state, not in Georgia, where Chick-fil-A is their headquarters. Pizza Hut, we are still in the process of really getting all of those finalized, getting the floor plans finalized, because really you can't start construction until everything is put in place.
It turns out that getting these franchises on campus might be more tedious than one would think.
Once that franchise agreement is finalized, then we develop plans that fit our space, and that goes through a review process and then a code review, And finally, we go to procurement with contractors. As far as the construction team is concerned, we're really on schedule and scheduled to be done by the end of April with a tentative grand opening mid-May.
Despite these delays, students are still happy that Chick-fil-A and Pizza Hut are coming to DSU.
I mean, I think it's awesome. I didn't know it was coming. I love to eat. I love Chick-fil-A, so I'm excited about that.
So come June, it looks like I'll be seeing you in line at Chick-fil-A and Pizza Hut here on campus.
Keep watching for more updates on the arrival of Chick-fil-A and Pizza Hut to campus. For the first time in Dixie State history, we will be celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for an entire weekend. 4 days of events will highlight knowledge, culture, and service. Some of the events include a talent show on Friday, gala night with dinner on Saturday, interfaith service on Sunday, and service projects on Monday. For more information and details, pick up a Dixie Sun newspaper around campus. Stay tuned, because after the break, Director of Collegiate Athletics, Dr. Jason Boothe, will be joining me to discuss Dixie State's switch to Division I athletics.
Today.
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
We have to be responsible ourselves for our minds.
True, right? But that's
we can't
that's
palm
the
it
issue.
off on being unwitting dupes and just say, oh well, it doesn't count because I got played.
Well, we have some unwitting dupes, Jennifer.
We do, but you can't say because we got played by the Russians that we have to redo the election.
By July 2020, DSU will have a Division I athletics program. The announcement came Friday. All teams will be joining the Western Athletic Conference with the exception of football, which will be going independent. Playing in the WAC means playing in-state schools such as UVU, and as well as gaining more recognition nationwide. Moving up does come at a price, however. The transition will cost nearly $2 million. To cover this large amount, it is anticipated that student fees will increase. I am joined here in studio with Athletic Director Jason Boothe to speak more in depth about the transition to the WAC. Welcome, Jason. Thanks for coming on our show.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's get right into it. So the vote for Division I was postponed from November to early January. What pros and cons were weighed during that time?
Well, November was our initial thought that we'd have a decision by then, but once we had the town halls and the forums and with the students and whatnot, it was overwhelmingly positive feedback. However, we just wanted to give it a little bit more time just to make sure that that idea, being new to a lot of people in those forums, make sure that if there's anything that out there that someone thought of, we'd have time to vet it. At the same time, we did an online survey to make sure we got more information. So that was really the only reason for the delay. And it really wasn't a delay, but with the holidays, it just took a little bit longer. Plus, then we had to plan the event that we had last Friday. So it really hasn't impacted us negatively at all. It just wanted to make sure we did it right.
It's good not to rush into big decisions like that.
It's a huge decision, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right.
So football is going to be going independent. What is the plan going forward revolving the independent football program, and how will it affect current players?
It won't affect players at all. The only thing that may affect players down the road is scholarships, and really that'll affect them positively because they'll just get more money. However, as far as independent status, it won't affect players at all. As far as the team, it will just mean that we won't have a conference championship to play for, but we will have a full schedule to play with usual number of home games, 5, maybe 6 home games from year to year. But we'll be playing teams that a lot of people are familiar with, as you mentioned earlier. UVU doesn't have a football team, but we've already got Southern Utah, Weber State, and Northern Arizona scheduled, and we announced that earlier this week. So great teams, great programs that will be going and playing. A lot of the times early on, these first couple of years, we'll have a lot of road games against those teams, but then the better part is in the few years after that, they'll be coming here. So that'll be exciting.
Good. We will be very excited for that. So you mentioned earlier that you got a lot of feedback from the community. So what feedback have you gotten since the announcement last Friday?
Everything's positive, incredibly overwhelmingly positive. It feels good to hear that and make sure, to see that the community agrees. I'm sure there's naysayers out there, as there is with any decision that you make, especially one this big. But the people have loved the one on the hill by the D, and just the excitement that this is bringing. It's a big change, and it's going to be a lot of work for not just the athletic department, but the university to make sure we do this right. But even with that, the feedback has been positive. People are ready to go, and it's going to be huge for this institution.
Absolutely. I've loved seeing the one on the hill. The D1 is so fun to see.
Yeah.
Yes. So what have the concerns been about leaving the RMAC after just 1 year of play?
Yeah, the RMAC is a phenomenal conference, and we could, if we were to choose to say Division II, we could not be in a better conference. It is one of the top in Division II in the nation. So we were in a great spot, and if we had foreseen this Division I opportunity coming when we made the decision to go to the RMAC, we would have never left the Pac West to do that to the RMAC. It's not leaving any bad taste in anyone's mouth. It's just natural, it's what happens. You get the opportunity and you go, or you consider it and you stay. So we'll have another year of competition in the RMAC to just make sure we're building up and getting ready for Division I. But it's a little bit disappointing just because the conference is so good, and we're going to be able to be very competitive and do very well in there. But it's also very exciting to take the next step and to grow our programs even bigger on a much bigger stage.
Great. So as athletic director, can you tell us what changes we should be expecting in the athletic department between 2020 and now?
Well, a lot of work is going to be done. We're going to have to do a strategic plan that we submit to the NCAA when we officially apply in June of 20. But as far as physical changes, as far as staffing and coaches and whatnot, there probably won't be too much between now and July of 20. Once July of 20 hits, we'll start to see a rapid increase of additional assistant coaches, current head coaches that are part-time moving to full-time, additional administrative staff to help with academics and compliance and business and all that. So it will be, it won't be rapid, but as far as adding 20 people in 1 year, it will be a growth over the next 5 years. But compared to today, in 5-6 years, it will be a much different athletic department.
Okay, well, thank you so much for answering all my questions.
Thanks for having me.
Joining me on the show. And now we're going to be tossing over to our break. Thanks, Dixie State.
There is a place where young and old make connections. Where kids feel like grown-ups. And grown-ups feel like kids. There is a place where beauty arises in contrast. Where wonder is universal. And laughter second nature. There is a place where friends find a future, families find each other, and feelings find their home. There is a place.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket. And it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Welcome back to the Dixie Sun News at Noon. I'm Stephanie Dupart, and I have the latest in sports. Women's basketball now has an 8-5 overall record and 4-5 conference record after their 2 consecutive wins last weekend. The Trailblazers defeated MSU Denver 62-55 and Chadron State 87-52. Women's basketball plays Colorado Christian University tomorrow in Lakewood, Colorado at 5 p.m. and Regis University on Saturday in Denver at 3 p.m. Men's basketball made a comeback at home with their 69-38 win over MSU Denver. The next night, they fell short to Chadron State with a score of 61-64. This has set their conference record to 3-6 and overall record to 5-8. Men's basketball also plays Colorado Christian tomorrow at 7 p.m. and Regis University on Saturday at 5 p.m. Women's swimming has a meet against Western Colorado University on Saturday in Washington, Utah at 2 p.m. Men's baseball is heading into the first season in the RMAC. Reporter Monique Chavez has a player profile on the left-handed pitcher, Jack Soller.
It's officially baseball season and time for a new player profile.
I started playing baseball when I was about 6 years old. Just something my dad loved doing when he was a kid, and so he decided that he wanted his kid to love it too, and it worked out.
Jack Soller, great teammate. Love his energy, loves to get the job done and work hard on the baseball field.
I'm really looking forward to playing Colorado Mesa this year. We've played them a couple times in the past as like exhibition kind of games, and they've always been really tough to play against, and really looking forward to see what they've got this year, what we can do against them.
Soller is a computer science major at DSU and aspires to become a computer programmer after college.
Having Jack on the team is a guy who makes the most out of his talents and his abilities because he makes the most out of every day. He shows up, he runs hard on and off the field during drills, he pays attention when he's learning things, and he asks good questions to understand the material that's being taught.
My favorite part about being on the team is just coming out every day with the guys, and we work really hard out here, but at the same time there's enough time in between where we can kind of mess around and just have a lot of fun. I've made some of my best friends I've ever had on this team, and it's just been a lot of fun to make some really good friendships.
Baseball's first event will be their alumni game on January 26th at 1:30 p.m. at Bruce Hurst Field. Reporting for Dixie Sun News, I'm Monique Chavez.
Men's baseball has its first game on February 1st in San Bernardino, California against St. Martin's University. That's it for this week's edition of the Dixie Sun News at noon. We will see you here next week, same time, same place. And as always, have a great week, Trailblazers.